to review the posture. The most important thing about our posture is to have a strong back, a straight back, but at the same time be very relaxed in the whole body. So, first of all, it doesn't matter whether you're sitting in a chair or a cushion. Try to keep your torso as straight as possible. Now, there's certain ways to do it. You can visualize a straight line going down through your body and try to just keep that alignment. Another good thing is just to stretch your arms up, bring them down without moving your back. Put your palms on your thighs and keep that posture. Notice that when we do this, we open our chest. Our chest is open. It's sort of like having your heart open. So think about it as keeping your heart open, being relaxed, and keeping a straight back. And we, in our lineage, we practice with our eyes open. And one of the reasons for doing this is because we want to develop the sense of being awake at all times. As we go through our daily lives, we have our eyes open. So we want to develop that the attention that we're developing through meditation to keep it open throughout the day. And so this is why we maintain our eyes slightly open. If we have our eyes open, we tend to just keep it a soft gaze 3 feet in front of you without actually looking at anything. If you find this too distracting, it's fine to close your eyes, but it's good to sort of practice a little doing it both ways and getting used to keeping our attention while having the eyes open. Another way to relax is to relax your face, and one way to do this is to keep your mouth slightly open. When we have our mouth slightly open, you will feel a sense that your face is relaxing. Your jaws are not clenched. And as you do this, your neck begins to relax and your shoulders relax. Always try to check your shoulders, make sure they're not too tense. And just keep your legs comfortably crossed if you're on a cushion, or if you're on a chair, keep your both feet on the ground. And I'm going to, and what we're going to do is observe our breath. And last week I talked a little bit about why we observe our breath, but basically the breath is a very relaxing object to concentrate on, and it's also reminds us of impermanence. It's always changing. You're either inhaling or exhaling. Things change the way everything changes throughout our lives. So it sort of reminds us a little of that. And it's also important to not think about so much concentrating on the breath, but basically feeling our breath. Feel our breath as it goes in and out. Feel ourselves being breathed in and breathed out. And when you do this, you can also concentrate on either two regions. You can concentrate on when the out breath goes out and it goes into space, and how the breath and the space around you is one. It also helps to sort of visualize that as you outhale or exhale, you're exhaling out all negativity and all your negative reactions. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about thoughts, because as you do this, you're going to realize that you're going to start thinking, and you'll lose your concentration. You'll lose that feeling of the breath. So, one important thing to realize is in meditation, we're not trying to eliminate our thoughts, because it's something that's impossible to do. Our mind is always going to generate thoughts. What we're trying to do in meditation is really, in spite of the thoughts we have, to train our minds to stay in the present moment, to be awake to the present moment. Many times we lose that sense of being where we are through the ramblings and the wanderings of our thoughts. So what we're really trying to do is just train our mind to, in spite of the thoughts, to be in the present moment. And in Tibetan Buddhism, there's an analogy which they compared the mind that is untrained to a wild monkey. And they say, when we start to meditate, we realize that our minds are like wild monkeys. We just, it's a torrent of thoughts that keeps churning, and we run away with those thoughts. Those thoughts affect our emotions, affect our outlook, and we become trapped in all these thoughts that we're having. So it's what we're trying to do is tame that wild monkey. And there is a technique that can be used as we practice to sort of get a hold of our thoughts, and this is called what we call labeling our thoughts. When we realize that we're having a thought as we're practicing, and that thought has taken you away from the object of observation that we have, which in this case is our breath, we label that thought and we say, thinking. And then we just let that thought dissipate, go back to our breath. And so this kind of technique really helps you to stabilize the mind, get back to our object, and little by little, then we start to sort of calm down, and we start to sort of train that monkey. Now, what we call these wandering thoughts, they're called diversive thoughts. And there's 3 levels of diversive thoughts. There's the first level, which we call when we're completely gone, which is when we have a thought that keeps us completely away from our object of observation for a pretty long stretch of time. And as we begin meditation, we notice that a lot. So at that time, whenever you catch yourself that you've been wandering for quite a while and you've been completely lost in your thoughts, just say, thinking, back to the breath. But you have to do it in a very gentle way. Do not be harsh with yourself. Do not be judgmental of yourself. Without criticism, very gently, go back. Go back to the breath. Label the thought, thinking. It's sort of like when you're trying to feed a baby and the baby starts to sort of lose its attention to the spoon. You gently guide the baby back. You don't get mad at the baby or anything like that. So that's the way we have to treat ourselves. We treat ourselves with gentleness as we go back to our breath. There's also a second type of diversive thought, which is when we sort of catch ourselves, before we actually wander away. We s- we find that we're starting to think of something, and then we say, "Oh, wait a minute." We go back to the breath, and once again, we have to use that technique of saying, "Thinking, thinking." Go back to the breath. Now, it's a good sign when you notice this happening, because that means that you're becoming aware. You're becoming aware of your thoughts. You're becoming aware of your mind. You're gaining awareness, gaining mindfulness. So, so you can think of it as a good thought, or a good sign that you're gaining that ability. But you still have to use a technique to go back to the breath. And then there's the third type of thought, which is a thought that is, you sort of feel like you're thinking in the background, but that at the same time you're still concentrating on your breath. So that kind of thought is really what we're trying to gain as we meditate, because you're going to see that thoughts never stop. They're going to come, but when that kind of thought comes, it's very easy for just to let go, let it go, let it dissipate. Keep on observing the breath. And here, it's not necessary to label the thought. You just observe it in the background, but not really observe it. It's sort of like when you're working and there's people around you that are talking, but you're just not tuning in. You're not tuning into what's going around you. You're just working on whatever you're working on. So you'll observe this as you practice, and of course it's a good sign. Now we also have to be aware that as we meditate, meditation is not a linear type of development. There's some days that we do a very good meditation where we start to feel a little proud of ourselves, because we say, hey, I really kept with it. I kept on my object of observation, and it was really pretty good. But then the next day, you find that you're completely lost in your thoughts again. So, you have to realize that this is normal, that this will happen. And in a way, it's sort of good, because sometimes we get a little proud, a little arrogant, thinking, hey, I'm really a good meditator. I'm better than a lot of people. But then when those moments come back, then, it sort of makes us humble once again. And so it sort of keeps us in a balance. So don't think that there's anything wrong in what you're doing when this type of thing happens. Now, there's 3 attitudes that you have to have towards working with our thoughts. One is the first one that I already mentioned, which is always be gentle with yourself. Be gentle to the fact that your mind is going to stray, that sometimes you don't have control over it, that you just keep going back to keeping the attention on your breath. And also patience. And of course, it's important to have patience, because patience really helps you to relax. And this is really what we try to do in meditation. We try to just relax, accept the fact that it's not going to happen overnight, and keep with it. And also just keep a sort of sense of humor about it, the sense of humor that your mind is like a wild monkey, and that it's just what it is, and you work with it. And I wanted to just mention this photograph, or it's like a painting, right, of that you see here of an elephant, and notice that here is the monkey. And this is basically, as we train our wild monkey, we want to train the monkey so that it will be able to come on the elephant, and the elephant moves in a very stable, calm way. And this is what we want to do with our minds. So, what we're going to do again in this practice is observe the breath. Work with your thoughts. And also, we'll do this for a few minutes. After a few minutes, we're going to chant the syllable Hung. And Hung is a sacred syllable in Tibetan Buddhism. It represents the enlightened mind. As we chant this syllable, just try to feel the vibration of the syllable through your body. Just feel the vibrations. Feel the vibrations of all the Hungs that you hear in the room. And basically, this chanting sort of helps us a little to clear our minds, make it a little bit more clear. So it's really quite helpful. We'll do the chant, each person at their own pace, for just until we naturally feel it's time to calm down and eliminate it. And then we go back to observing our breath. So that we're going to do this for about 20 minutes. And I'll let you know when we chant. So let us begin. Let us chant. Go back to the breath. Let us chant home. this chant home. Go back to your breath. So I'd like to emphasize that when we do this meditation or any kind of practice like this, we really want to train ourselves to be in the present moment. Also, as far as thoughts, it's sort of when we label our thoughts as thinking, we're all at the same time, we're sort of like acknowledging that our thoughts are kind of like illusions. There's really no real existence, but it's more like an illusion. You can think of your thoughts as sort of dreams, like if they're dreams. And when we do this, it helps us to detach ourselves from, especially those thoughts that create certain emotions in us that are reactionary patterns that really are causing us in some level of suffering. What the Buddhists say, we're trying to eliminate suffering, and suffering can be in various degrees. I mean, you can think of stress as suffering. You can think as just irritation as suffering. All of these emotions and thoughts that carry us away is really what we're trying to dissipate, to tame down. So in a way, you can think of thoughts escalate suffering, and meditation de-escalates suffering. And this is why we meditate. So just keep that in mind. Also think of thoughts as clouds passing through the sky that dissipate eventually. And so when we practice, we're trying to dissipate those clouds and have a clear sky. Okay, so anyway, I also want to mention, for those of you that are new to meditation, the practice we just did is something that you can do. We would like you to do on your own, because really to have the benefits of meditation, it has to be something that's you have to develop a daily practice. So if you do it on your own, just keep it short at the beginning for 5-10 minutes, and then as you feel more comfortable, you can extend the time. We're going to have a short break for about 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes. Well, probably less than 10 minutes. And during this break, you're free to have some snacks we have. You can use the restroom. There's a restroom behind this partition. You can talk if you like, or if you prefer, just stay silent. And also keep in mind that the break is part of the practice, so just be mindful during the break. And also, we're passing around a book of names that we always read at the end. The names in the book are people that are in need or are ill or have recently passed away. So feel free to add any names you like to it. And it could also be animals, pets, and it could be yourself. And if you haven't signed in, we have a sign-in sheet. So we always like to have people sign in. So we'll have the break. Oh, there's still people. You're in line. Okay, I'll wait. Let's wait till everyone goes to the restaurant. Practice is a practice that we like to do because it symbolizes that whatever we do, whatever practice, and how much merit we gain through our practice, we always share with others. And this is a very big concept in Tibetan Buddhism. Whatever we gain through our spiritual attainment or our spiritual path is done for others, not for ourselves. So what we're going to do in this practice, it's a little similar to the first one. We're first going to just observe our breath just for a few minutes. And then we're going to chant the syllable ah, and this is the syllable ah, another sacred syllable. This time we're just going to chant the ah one time in 3 different occasions, and in each occasion we're going to do a visualization. And I'll let you know what it is when we come to it. So I think there's still one person there. Let them come out. Okay. So let us begin observing the breath. The first time we chant Ah, we're going to visualize a white light at our heart. This white light is a light of impurity, enlightenment. Purity, enlightenment, all the good things, all the good merit we've accomplished in our practice. And as we chant this the white light will spread throughout our body. It will spread to all the cells in our body. The second time, we will visualize the white light that is within us going to each person that is in the room. Each person will receive white light, and each person will send white light. And the whole room will be filled with white light as we chant Ah. Third time, we will visualize the white light that is in our room, in this room, spreading throughout the city, throughout the country, throughout the planet, and throughout the universe, to all living beings. Okay, so I'm going to read the names that are in the book, and once we finish reading the names, we're going to say sharing the merit dedication. On this sheet, it's where it says dedication, and in this book, it is on page 22, where it says sharing the merit. And first, I'll read the names. We dedicate our practice to Christine L., Ruta Elkin, 1-year anniversary of death, William Wright, Esther in the Bardo, Sophie, Kathy, Dana, Resistance, Mom and Dad, Jeff, Miro's family, Stephen B., Gina, Tomas, Patabi, Jaya, Sangita, Shivani, Kaya, The Woman's Home, Lee, Fred, Brooks, Larry, Ron, Vicky, Thomas, Brian, Sarah, Rachel and Rob, Elizabeth and Ray, Sally, Raymond, Raphael and Mary, Richard and Tracy, Mickey and Nellie, Greg and Misty and Jake, Nicolas, Martha and Ivan, Jimenez Segovia family, Chiatin Bay, I'm not sure what it says here, but it looks like TT or VT Fromden, Grundon, Elda Cisneros, Shane Raffle, Claridad Dalmau, Rolando Rodriguez, Mats Moeller, Fernando Dalmau, Robert KK, Susan Bella. So, by this good may I swiftly once become a great guru, lead all beings, everyone, to reach to that very ground. Let's also say from here the aspiration. May all beings always have happiness and its causes. May all beings always be free of pain and its causes. For as long as space abides, as long as the world remains, just so long may I be there, resolving all beings' pain. Okay, so before we go, I'd just like to briefly say some of the activities we'll be having here in Down Mountain. And for those of you that are new to Down Mountain, talk a little bit about our founding teachers. Down Mountain was founded by Anne Klein and Harvey Arneson. Anne Klein is a professor of religious studies at Rice University, and Harvey is a psychotherapist in private practice. They're married to each other, and they've been studying Buddhism for many years with very well-known Buddhist, Tibetan Buddhist teachers. And they're Buddhist scholars, and they're really wonderful teachers, and we're really fortunate to have them here in Houston. And they're here every first and third Tuesday giving teachings. And actually, we're going to start the winter series because, the series of teachings that they give is sort of like semesters. We have the winter series, the summer, and the fall. So next Tuesday, we're starting the winter series. And this series is going to be taught by Harvey. Harvey will be teaching the series and is not going to be with us until March. She's on retreat. She's on a private retreat. And Harvey is a psychoanalyst, and he's giving a very good series called Changing for the Good, How to Start or Stop for Good this time. So, all these habitual patterns that we may be trying to get rid of, he will be telling us how to do that. So it's really a very good series for everyone, whether you're interested in Buddhism or just interested in having a better life. You're welcome to come, and it's going to be on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 each first and third Tuesday, starting this Tuesday and ending on May 6th. And we have a flyer up here so you can take it with you, and also you can check our website. We also have a Mindfulness for Everyone class that's starting on Saturdays. It's going to be Saturdays, January 25th, February 1st, February 8th, and February 15th. And it will be from 10:30 till noon. And this is going to be taught by Claire Villarreal, which is one one of our senior students here, and she has been giving this class for quite a few years. She's very experienced with Buddhist, with mindfulness, and she is actually one of Anne's student at Rice University. She's studying for her doctorate. And so I'm sure everyone will benefit if you're new to mindfulness, to meditation. It's a great way to start. Also, there's going to be an intensive 2-day workshop on the series that Harvey is teaching, Changing for Good. So this will be, it's sort of like a short retreat on Friday, 21st from 6:30 to 9 p.m. in the evening, and Saturday, February 22nd from 10 to 1 and from 2:30 to 5:30. So if you want to really go intensive in it, go to the 2-day intensive workshop. And I think that's all we have for now, but I do want to mention the fact that we do have a children's program here in Dog Mountain. We don't know exactly when it's going to start, but every semester, or either in the fall and the spring, we do have the children's program, and you can check our website if you want to know more about it. This is for children about the ages of 4 to 12, and they're going to be taught mindfulness. It's a very good curriculum that was developed by actually one of the persons that helped develop it was Goldie Hawn, the actress, and she's a very well-known Buddhist. And so it's something that is being taught not only here, but in many different centers around the country. And once in a while, we do have retreats that are open to everyone. We haven't actually planned, but I think once Anne comes back from her retreat, there will probably be a retreat that is open for anyone that would like to come. And usually these are weekend retreats when we just come. It's not like a stay-over type retreat. It's just coming here on the weekend, and they will give teachings and basically geared towards people that are starting. So I'd like to thank you for coming, and I hope to see you again.